Hello and welcome to another episode of Live Feed with the host Richard Santiago. Live Feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by thebullyexposed.com. 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying, so let them help you. So I got a video today and a question from a few of my followers, and I'm going to try my best to answer this question. Sheila Gans, thank you for joining the show. Before we get started, let me call in a few of the troopers in. Let's call Gavin. Let's call SK. Let's call Pico. Let's call Van Laura, Trini, and Tully. Let's call them on in here. I'm going to show you a video, and so I don't get copy strike, or so we don't get copy strike, I'm going to only show the video once, guys, so make sure you pay lots of attention to it. So it was a video sent to me by Autistic Artists, along with the question of when is the right time to defend yourself, because that's very important to know, because if you strike too soon, you could be making a friend an enemy. So you got to know exactly, you got to be sure that you're actually being bullied. And I know that's weird. There's a lot of, I've had discussions with Dr. V. We all know Dr. V, right? At Books That Swole. And she says, any type of bullying is bullying. I got to go with the older, well, maybe not the older, but I got to go with a different view of it, of when, if someone does something to you that may seem like bullying one time, it's not bullying. Twice, it's not bullying. On the third time, then it's definitely bullying. But one key thing to remember, guys, is just because it's 3 strikes and you're out, so to speak, doesn't mean that when someone makes you feel like they're trying to bully you the first time, that you can't make it a point to bring it to their attention. Okay, that's very important that you guys know that yes, it officially becomes bullying when someone does it 3 times, right? But it does not mean that the first time it happens that you cannot address it and make sure to get your point across, that you are a person that does not welcome bullying, and you will not put up with bullying. There's nothing wrong with teaching someone that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can say something to the fact that, hey, I'm not too sure, but it seems like you're trying to bully me, and I want you to know that I'm a person that does not appreciate bullying, does not bully, and I don't accept bullying, and I will not put up with it for much longer. So I want to be sure we're on the same page, and that I'm not misunderstanding you. Because sometimes somebody might say, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel that way. I know, believe it or not, I have made people feel like I was bullying them by joking around with them. And some people told other people, and then they told me. And I made sure to make a point to go up to them and say, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel like that. I apologize. And you apologize and you never do it again, So there's times that you can get misunderstood with what's bullying. But again, just because you're not sure doesn't mean that you can't put the person in their place, so to speak, and let them know that bullying is not appreciated. So let's check out this video. So watch very carefully, okay? Because I'm only going to show it once, because guys know that I used to show it more than once, and then we get copy striked, and I don't want that to happen. But before we go, Sheena Gans, let's smash that heart, whether you're watching this live or record it, for Sheila, who had our first comment. She says, some people don't understand certain sense of humor and types. Yeah, good point, Sheena. Yes, it's a sense of humor. I only tease and joke around with people in that way when I absolutely know the people well enough. But sometimes I feel like I know them well enough, but the person doesn't feel like we're on a level where we can joke like that. Sometimes they tell me, sometimes they don't. I'm always a person that appreciates it. Some people get mad. Oh, he told me he didn't like when I was joking with him. Don't get upset. Just, appreciate that the person told you. Fairy Lover, thank you for joining the show. Smash that heart one time, whether you're watching this live or recorded. So if you have a sense of humor, like I said, with certain people, I have a sense of humor where I joke with them and I'll tease them. And I might say some things that if you didn't know, it would sound like I'm bullying them or teasing them too harshly. But if the person doesn't appreciate that, if you're in that case and you don't appreciate that kind of humor, tell the person. Don't be afraid to tell the person. Like maybe you do like joking around in that manner, but you don't like jokes about your mother or your father because your mother and father just passed away, or because your mother and father are sick. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I know we're joking, but I don't appreciate jokes about my family members or my mom right at this point. So, so don't be afraid to do that. And I think that's a main reason why bullying is so strongly, because people are afraid to say, hey, you crossed the line. Don't ever be afraid to say you crossed the line. I always tell you guys, never let your bully silence you, right? Never let your bully or your friend silence you in the way that you don't feel comfortable enough to say, oh, you're passing the line. Stay right where you're at. Don't come any closer. You're passing the line. Don't be afraid to do that. And that's quite all right. And if you lose a friend because of that, he wasn't your real friend. That's another thing that we have to say. Before I show the video, I want to say that if you lose friends because you say, I don't appreciate you joking like that, you did not lose a true friend. So you got nothing to worry about. That's like I tell you guys all the time, right? My wife's got a bunch of friends. She's got a lot of friends. I got one or two friends, and I like it like that because I know those one or two friends I can trust. They have my back. I'm not wondering how would this person react if this happened. I know these people will react a certain way. Sometimes I'm wrong. I'm only human. I make mistakes. But for the most part, I'm pretty on point with my friends and what they'll do for me. So let's show the video because I know you guys are waiting for this video. So let's see. Let's bring it on in here. Okay, so remember, pay attention because I'm only going to show it once.
You got something on your shirt. Hey, you got something on your shirt.
That's right. Oh, don't stop. Don't come any closer. Another effective slap is to the bully's groin. Throw the candy in his face, and it gives me enough time to run.
Leave me alone.
We just wanted to...
I said leave me alone.
You want trouble, huh?
Pal.
You got something on your shirt.
All right, so
Hey, you got something on your shirt.
you see that. Okay, so one thing that I want to make a point about this video is that a lot of the time, the person who was being bullied struck first. Now, that's okay. If you feel so threatened that you feel that you have to strike first, that's okay. But keep in mind that a school, a principal, a teacher you might get in trouble because you struck first. Unfortunately, I told you guys this in the past. Fortunately, we are the heroes, right? We are the superheroes, right? So the superhero never strikes first, right? Never strikes first. The superhero, that's the job of the superhero, and that's unfortunate. It's like police officers. A lot of police officers are getting a lot of flack, for the things that a few bad police officers have done. But that's the job of the police officer, to de-escalate situations, not escalate, and to be, and unfortunately, not be the ones to strike first. Even though some cops do that, they have to counter. So if I was you, if you're being bullied, go take up some boxing classes, some karate classes, and tell your instructor that you want to learn more about counter counterattacking rather than attacking first. Because that's very important, because like I said, you strike first, the principal saw you strike first, students saw you strike first, teachers saw you strike first, you're the one that's going to get in trouble, unfortunately, and the bully's not. So remember to not be the person to strike first. Now, they did mention a punch to the groin, right? Very effective. Don't be afraid to use that. Very effective. Just don't. Fortunately, you can't be the one to use it first. If a kid grabs you by the collar, bam, there you go, right to the groin area. And it's not for those of you that are females and being bullied by females. It's not as effective as when you hit a guy, but it still will be effective. Paulo's in the house, everybody. Welcome, Paulo. Smash that heart for Paulo. Paulo's going to be in Vegas, where I'm at this precise moment. I'm not in Italy. He's going to be in Vegas in November, trying to win some awards. And we wish him lots of luck, Paulo, when you come down to Vegas. Keep us posted. Let us know how it is. And whether you're watching this live or recorded version, please remember to smash that heart for us. Show us some love. And maybe Paulo can tell us some techniques that he can do. We're talking about defending yourself, Paulo. You're the one that will know best about defending himself. So let me know what you think. So our good friend Sheila says, same. I keep my circle very small. My husband has a lot of friends. Yeah, you and me are the same there, Sheila. Yeah, I rather, like I said, I rather have two good friends that I can trust and that I know have my back no matter what, rather than like have 1,000 friends that you don't know what they're going to do. So Paulo says self-defense. Yes, self-defense is very important. If you live in Portugal, look up my friend Paulo and take some classes with him, because I'm sure he will show you how to defend yourself against a bully. So like I said, I'm gonna say it again for those of you that need to hear things more than once. It's important to not be the person to strike first. Okay. It's important to learn to defend yourself. That's another thing that this video that I showed did. It had a lot of moves, and I like the fact that when the students were feeling threatened, they put their hand up. If you remember, I told you to put two hands up when you're defending yourself, to do something sort of like this. You're putting your hands up. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's, this, when your hands are up, it's a posture that's very, is less threatening, I should say. Less threatening. And the most important thing is you have your hands near your face. So if he happens to punch, you got your hands up. And it's important to remember that when you have your hands up, you're putting strength in them. Just in case someone pulls your hand back, you don't end up hitting yourself in the face, because you can if a person hits you, and even though your hand is between their fist and your face, you still can get injured. So you want to put it up and put it with pressure, so that if someone pushes your hand back, it's not going to go very far. And yeah, get your hands up right away. All too often, if you remember in the beginning of my shows, when we first started these episodes, a lot of kids, they would be confronted by bullies and they have their hands down on their side. No, put your hands up. Keep a distance too. Keep a distance. You want to keep arm's distance away from the person. So if the person comes at you, you tell them to please step back. If they don't step back and you have room, you step back. Because what most anybody would do this, even if they're an expert fighter, they're going to try to encroach on you so that they can position themselves in a great way to punch you. And that punch could be the one punch that knocks you out. Okay? So you have to keep a distance. They come up in your face like this, hey, talking smack, you back it up. No. You back yourself up if you have to. You explain to them to back up, stay away like they did in the video. If they don't do it, then you back yourself up because I can bet you, I can guarantee you that first they get up close to you and then the punch comes. So keep that distance. So when they throw the punch, it goes just like what it's doing right now, passing right by you. Okay? So I think the key things, like I said, to remember is not, unfortunately, we are the good guys. And we have to learn to defend ourselves on the counter, not defend ourselves. I forget what the other is called. The counter is your counter reacting to what the person's doing. Sorry, I don't know the technical terms. I'm sure boxers know it. But you're countering to what they're doing. They're throwing a punch and you're countering, whether you're bobbing and weaving, whether you're blocking it with your hand or whatever. Those are counters. So learn counters. And one of the most effective one I tell you guys all the time when we got a video about it is to bob and weave. You bob and you weave and then you come with your punch or push them down or whatever. And they did something in this video that I haven't saw in other videos. If you have candy in your hand, I did tell you about this. If you have something in your hand, you could toss it at them. That's what I'm not suggesting that, like I said, because it's not a counter move. It's you're striking first. So you're gonna get suspended or you're gonna get in trouble because you initiated the fight. And every bully, trust me when I tell you this, every bully is gonna say, I wasn't gonna hit him, I wasn't gonna do anything to him, and he threw the candy in my face, or he punched me first, and then that's when I hit him. We know it's a lie, but that's what they're gonna say, and they're gonna win every time because you struck first. So the candy in the face, if a student grabs you by your shirt, I would guess that the candy in your face is gonna work. But one thing I do want to remind you is don't do any of the things that you see on this video unless you speak to a professional or your parents, okay? Never do any of the things you see on this video unless you speak to your parents first or you speak to a professional. Please remember that. So I think I covered everything on this question provided by Autistic Artists. And thank you, Autistic Artists, for asking us a question and sending us the video. Remember, guys, to follow Autistic, ask her for permission, but if you want to follow her, go right ahead and follow her. Autistic Advocate, I'm sorry, the name is Autistic Advocate. I apologize. Autistic Advocate, not Artist. I apologize. You could follow her, ask her for her permission if you could follow her. And thank you so much for sending us the video. So again, remember, never strike first, guys. We are the heroes. Have a few things that you do. They were showing you things you could do, right? A punch to the groin, putting up your hand, and if the person gets too close, grabbing their hair and pulling them down. Again, I am not suggesting these are the right things to do. Talk to your parents, talk to a professional. But you see things like that. They taught you things like that in the video that I showed you. Have a multitude of things to do. It's like a magician, right? He doesn't have just one magic trick. He doesn't have. He's got many magic tricks. You have to be like a magician and have a few little things on your belt. If you're going to hit him in the groin, if you're going to throw candy in his face, if you're going to put a chair between you or a desk between you and the subject. That's one thing that I do a lot. Do that a lot. When you're arguing with your bully or your bully is trying to threaten you and demeanor you, keep a chair or a table between you at all times. Because then that helps with the thing that I told you about, right? If there's a chair or a table between you, he can't get in your face so he can strike you. So always keep something between you. Have a multitude of things that you can do, right? Don't just have one. Don't be a one-trick pony, as they call it, where, okay, if someone comes to me, I'm going to hit him in his groin area, or I'm going to throw candy in his face, because you might not have candy to throw, or food. Same thing. You might not have those things to throw. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't suggest anyone doing any of the things that you saw in the video unless you've had a training, because you're going to really piss off the bully and he's going to come back tenfold, and you have to know how to defend yourself properly. So parents, put your kid in some type of self-defense class, martial arts class. Kids, ask your parents, put me in martial arts class. Okay? You don't know how many boxers I've talked to who were Absop's Theater, thank you for joining us. You don't know how many parents I talked to, boxers, who started boxing as a way to defend themselves against bullies and then became champs. Okay? Ishe Smith is one of them. Okay? Please, learn to defend yourself first before you really go and do any of the things that I showed you in the video that I showed you. All right? It's important. You got to have an arsenal of things in your belt. Remember that. That's important to know. So that's going to do it for me on this episode. Whether you're watching this live or recorded, please smash that heart. Show me some love. We're here every day. If there's something you want us to talk about, remember, just DM us the video you saw or DM us the question that you had and send it over to us. All right? We may not get to it right away, but eventually we will. We really appreciate that, because there's other kids. If you have a question, remember this. If you have a question, there's 1,000 other kids that have the same question. And this way, we get to answer it. We get to tell everyone, and everyone learns to defend themselves against bullies. And that's important, right? That's what we're here to do. All right. So remember that Live Feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. Remember to follow us. Go right now. I'll wait. Go right now to youtube.com. Do a search for Nonfiction Filmmaker and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell so you're notified every time we put up a video. All right? We are also sponsored by thebullyexposed.com, 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying. So let them help you. Thank you for smashing that heart. And remember that you can get your Be Kind t-shirt at thebullyexposed.com. You could also get your t-shirts. You could also get t-shirts at represent.com/store/thebullyexposed. So it's going to do it for me. Remember, anyone can wear the crown. Anyone can be a hero. Be kind to one another, guys, and have a great day. Bye.